Hi, I'm Ray Romano. You know, when I was a kid in New York, we used to play stickball out on the street. And for a bat, we used to use my mother's broken broom handle. And we swung at a plain old rubber ball. First base was a manhole cover. Second base was the bumper of a rusty Ford. And third and home, well, let's just say New York has a complicated sewer system, and we had a lot of manhole covers in my neighborhood. I was known as a three-sewer man myself. Of course, those were the days that I didn't shower. But now, I get a real kick out of seeing my own kids in their official Little League uniforms going all out for a home run on a real baseball diamond with regulation equipment and everything else. Am I jealous? Well, maybe a little bit. But the thing is, Little League Baseball is the best. That's why I feel so good about being involved with this instructional video series, Play Ball.
I do remember, too, a championship game as a 10-year-old, pitching on the mound in an extra inning game and throwing a wild pitch and running to cover home plate, and the runner from third's coming to score the winning run.
Continue to reach for the stars, reach for your dreams. Don't take no for an answer. If you get cut from a team, try out the next year. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself.
Try to develop sound mechanics, work on throwing strikes. If you get good enough, to maybe try to throw on both sides of the plate. You know, work on throwing fastballs on both sides of the plate. That's how you develop into great pitchers. That's not how nasty their pitches are, it's how they locate them.
All right, it's time for the authentic Little League guide to pitching. We're very fortunate to have Bud Black. As a major league pitcher for 15 seasons, Bud was famous for keeping hitters guessing by constantly mixing up his fastball, curve, slider, and changeup. As a starting pitcher for the Kansas City Royals during their World Series championship season, Bud had a career earned run average of 3.72. In addition to the Royals, he played for the San Francisco Giants and the Cleveland Indians. Today, Bud's a pitching coach for the Anaheim Angels, and judging from their World Series win in 2002, he's a pretty good one. And here's a little bit of inside stuff. Bud's real name is Bud, but his friends call him Blackie. So listen up, you can learn a lot from this guy. My workplace has been a pitcher's mound for about the last 25 years. So take it from someone who knows becoming a good pitcher takes a certain amount of natural ability, hours and hours of hard work, a command of the strike zone, and a real understanding of the basics of pitching. And the first of these basics is the grip. The way you hold the ball is going to affect the velocity and movement of your pitches. But when you're just starting out, you may want to go with what's called the four-seam grip. Let me show you what it looks like. First of all, look at the ball. Find the shape of the ball that looks like a horseshoe. All right, and once you do that, place your two fingers on top of the ball, your index finger and your middle finger. Your third finger and pinky are on the side of the ball, your pinky's underneath, and your thumb's underneath the ball as well. That's good. That's perfect. The ball should feel comfortable in your hand. This grip here is a basic four-seam fastball. It will keep the ball the straightest, and more than likely it will go the hardest and fastest when you pitch. But this is the traditional four-seam fastball, with your two fingers on top and your thumb underneath. Very good. Very good. What is it about the four-seam fastball that makes it the straightest, most accurate pitch? It's the seams. When all four seams on the baseball are rotating evenly, it creates a perfect backspin.
And here's a tip for you kids. At 9 to 12 years old, I think the most important thing you can do as a pitcher is learn how to throw strikes. Everybody's in a hurry to learn how to throw a curveball or a changeup or a slider. The most important thing you can do is learn how to throw a fastball, learn how to throw it for strikes consistently, and then you can move on to another pitch. I think the two most common grips for a fastball are what we call a four-seam fastball, where you hold it across the horseshoe. This, with a small hand, is probably the easiest one to control. When you master that, you can move to what we call a two-seam fastball, which will sink a little bit more or move a little bit more. You get a little bit more movement on that pitch, but learn how to throw a four-seam fastball for strike consistently, and if you're looking for another pitch, learn maybe how to throw a sinker, then you can move on to a breaking ball.
See this white slab up here?
It's 2 feet long, half a foot wide, and 10 inches off the ground. It's made out of rubber. So you know what the pioneers of the game called it? Rubber! That's right. Now remember, there's no perfect spot to start when you're on the rubber. You've got to stand on the rubber in a spot that makes you feel comfortable. Whether you're left-handed or right-handed, it doesn't matter. Pick a spot that feels comfortable for you. I feel like some kids they feel like the rubber's there and they got to stand directly on top of it or directly on the side of it. But if you could just think about the little hole in front of the rubber and stand directly and have your foot up against it, solid on the back, and never be on top of the rubber at all. In Little League, the pitching mound isn't as tall as in the big leagues. Instead of being 10 inches above home plate, it is only 6 inches high. And the dimensions of the rubber in Little League are 18 inches long and 4 inches wide versus 24 inches long and 6 inches wide in the big leagues. Wind-ups in baseball are like people's faces. Everybody has one, and they're all different. The magic all happens when the pitcher grips the ball, steps onto the rubber, and puts his body in motion. A left-handed pitcher puts his left foot on the rubber with his right foot a little bit back. A right-handed pitcher puts his right foot on the rubber and his left foot a little back. Start your wind-up having both feet on the rubber, and then shift your weight to your back foot with your hands going over your head. The front foot pivots in front of the rubber. At that time, here comes your back leg, lifting your knee up over the rubber about waist high. As your knee is lifting, your hands start to move down your body. At this point, you're in a good balanced position. This is called the balance point. From this point, your hands are still coming down your body, and your stride leg starts to go towards home plate.
One thing that I always do, I do some toe tapping drills in my balance point, because remember, your balance point is one of your most important parts of your pitching motion. So what I do, I get right here, hit my balance point, and I just get me some nice toe taps coming down. Helps me get some rhythm with my hands. That helps me stay over the rubber. Then I'll just make a pitch.
Back, pivot in front of the rubber, knee lift, and here come the hands starting to come down. When your leg starts to stride towards the plate, it's when the separation of the hands occur. So the knee will drop and stride towards home, and you'll break your hands. Right when you separate your hands and you start your stride, it's important to remember now that your hand goes down, out, and up in a nice, loose, easy manner. It's critical now to remember to keep your fingers on top of the ball and your thumb underneath. Your hand will come out, down, out, and back, and up. So if I was going to do it in front of you guys like this, here's my knee, up, balanced. My hands are starting to separate, down, back, and up in a nice circular motion. Also very important to remember to keep your elbow above your shoulder. This is proper. Down here, not proper. So let's always remember, keep your elbow above your shoulder. You don't want to be down here. Down here will lead to a lot of arm injuries as you get older. So let's remember, keep your arm up, elbow above the shoulder, fingers on top of the ball, thumb underneath. It's important to learn how to pitch using proper form. An estimated 100,000 injuries occur every year to baseball players between ages 5 and 14. A number of those injuries are to the elbow and shoulder. Poor mechanics, lack of flexibility, physical conditioning, and fatigue can lead to chronic injuries commonly called Little League elbow and Little League shoulder. So use proper form and limit your number of pitches. And don't pitch if you're too tired. Pitching when you're fatigued can lead to chronic injury. So now, we've went through the first couple stages of the wind-up. We've stepped back, Hands above our head, pivot foot in front, knee comes up over the rubber in a nice balanced position, a good powerful position. When we start striding towards the plate, our hands will separate. Our hand comes down in a nice loose out and back and up easy motion. Our fingers are on top of the ball, our thumb is underneath, and we start to throw the ball. The follow through and how you finish your pitch is very important. After you release the ball, it's important to remember to finish your pitch, not just let the ball go and stop your body. Now when you throw, after you release the ball, make sure that your throwing arm comes across and it should land on the outside of your landing leg with your back leg coming around. That's a good finish, that's a good follow through, and that creates great extension for you to throw the ball out front. It's a good habit to get into. Right-handed pitcher, same thing.
Another drill that I incorporate into my bullpens is another balance drill, but I do it from the power position. You know, I find out where my foot's going to be. I get right here, bam, I'm in my power position right here, okay? Find out where my foot is. From right here, this is another rhythm drill, another little balance drill. Take my hands, head on the target, and just kind of shifting your weight and getting some nice hand movement and making a pitch, just like this. Out front. Out front. What this drill does, it helps you really get out front with your pitches. Okay, the reason is because you're already in your power position, and this makes you get out front with your pitch. If not, you're not going to be able to hit your target. Okay, so you really have to get out front with it.
So remember, stride, throw, finish out front in a good fielding position. You never know when a ball is going to be hit back to you. You've got to anticipate that every ball that you throw is going to be hit back to you. So you have to be a fielder as well. There's 7 guys behind you. There's a catcher, 8th, and you're the 9th fielder. You've got to be in a good fielding position. Let's recap. Start by gripping the ball with the 2 fingers across the seams. Then the 3rd finger on the side and the thumb underneath. Find a comfortable spot on the rubber and maintain your balance. Start your wind-up with your hands moving over your head and shifting your weight slightly onto your back foot. Now your front foot pivots in front of the rubber and your back leg comes forward with your knee lifting to a comfortable position near your waist. You are balanced over the rubber. As you get ready to throw, your stride moves directly towards home plate, your hands separate, your throwing arm moves down, out, and up in a loose, fluid motion. Make sure your fingers are on top of the ball and your thumb underneath. Your stride foot lands pointing towards home plate with the knee slightly flexed. The elbow of your throwing arm must be above your shoulder. The ball is released, the weight is transferred to your landing leg. Your back leg comes around and puts your body in a balanced, comfortable position, ready to catch or field any balls hit back to you. In 1999, Cy Young Award winner David Cone pitched a perfect game. So what does it mean to pitch a perfect game? That means a pitcher doesn't allow any batters to reach first base on walks, hits, or errors. And that's tough for even the most seasoned Major League pitcher to pull off. Now that you know the basic mechanics of the pitching motion, it's time to talk about how to throw different pitches. For Little Leaguers, concentrate on 3 main pitches: the fastball, the curveball, and the changeup. Each one of these pitches has many variations, but if you concentrate on just the main 3 pitches, you'll have more than enough variety to keep hitters on their toes. The fastball is the heart and cornerstone of every pitcher's arsenal. The fastball is used sometimes to overpower hitters, and it's often used to set up other pitches. The keys to developing an effective fastball are control and movement. Velocity is a factor, but not as important as control and movement. Unless, of course, you can throw 100 miles an hour, which is very uncommon. In fact, many pitchers who try to throw too hard suffer arm injuries. The first type of fastball is the four-seam fastball. We talked about this pitch earlier. This is the pitch that is the straightest and hardest. It is held with your two fingers across the horseshoe of the ball. And what you're meant to do here is get that ball spinning directly with good rotation backwards, tight rotation with good four-seam spin. It's called a four-seam fastball because you have four seams rotating against the wind. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why it's called a four-seam fastball.
I think everybody that knows baseball will tell you, four-seam fastball is the best pitch for a little leaguer and even just a younger player to throw because it's the straightest, most accurate pitch you can throw and fastest pitch due to the rotation of the seams. Four-seam fastball is simply get the horseshoe, turn it to the side, and you got a four-seam fastball. What creates a four-seam fastball is as you let go of the ball this way and it rotates, it's rotating at you. Okay, it's creating 1, 2, 3, 4 seams. Four-seam fastball. So you get the horseshoe, just put the little crease of your finger here over that thing so you got a good feel of that ball, and as you let go, you'll get the rotation here, creating the velocity, the accuracy, so it's not going to veer off any which way because you have control of that ball with your fingers here. Four-seam fastball is the #1 pitch for a youngster, just to have the most accuracy, you know, and to give himself the best chance to throw a strike with every pitch.
The other fastball is called the two-seam fastball because you have two seams rotating against the wind. 1, 2. And it is held with your index finger and middle finger in between these two seams right here. It is also called the sinker because what happens when you throw a two-seam fastball, more likely than not the ball is going to have some movement. That's why we call it the sinker or a moving fastball. When you see ground balls hit, it's usually because of the sinker. The ball will get up to home plate and just have a little bit of sink to it. A little bit of sink at the end. The hitter will swing and he'll hit the top half of the ball because the ball's moving, sinking. So to create a sinker, you hold the ball with the seams, with those two seams right there.
I remember as a young kid I had trouble gripping the ball because my hands were so small. So a lot of times kids could not grip the ball like a major league pitcher would with just his index finger and middle finger and thumb. So a lot of times you'd have to bring 3 or even 4 fingers on the ball. And you could either go cross seam that way where you have 3 fingers on the ball, but if you're having trouble getting the ball down, then you can still throw a two-seam fastball with 3 fingers. You just put the middle finger in the middle. And then eventually as your hand gets bigger and you get older, that will allow you to go to more of a two-seam, two-finger fastball as you grow and as you get older. But don't be afraid to use 3 fingers on a ball if the ball feels too big for you. But go ahead and use this part of the ball, the two-seam fastball, that allows more of a downward spin or more of a sinking action to your fastball to help get the ball down.
Personally, I love both types of fastball. The sinker is a very effective pitch to create ground balls, and the four-seam fastball will always be your hardest and straightest fastball. Both pitches, very effective. Both pitches have use in your arsenal when you're pitching. Use both, experiment with both, and remember, the fastball is the most effective pitch a pitcher can throw. Okay, Little Leaguers, maybe you can walk the walk. Now let's see if you can talk the talk. Let's see how well you know our top 10 pitching terms. Number 10, another name for a curveball is a hook. Number 9, when a pitch is delivered right down the middle of the strike zone, it's right down the pipe. Number 8, another name for the pitcher's mound is the hill. Number 7 is another name for a curveball, Uncle Charlie. Not a relative you Little Leaguers want to throw very often if you want to keep your pitching arm. Number 6, if you've just pitched a ball that's high and inside, that's called chin music. Number 5 is the name for a high fastball with a lot of velocity. It's called high cheese or gasoline. Number 4, this is a pitch that a catcher signals by holding down 2 fingers. It's a deuce, which is yet another name for a curveball. Number 3, A relief pitcher known for finishing the game is called a closer. Number 2, if you're a pitcher with a strong throwing arm, you've got a live arm or a cannon. And the number 1 pitching term is what we all strive to be. A team's best starting pitcher is called an ace. So how'd you do? Hope you aced our top 10 pitching list. By far the most controversial pitch at the Little League level is the curveball. For years, the debate has raged among doctors, parents, organized baseball, and coaches whether to teach the curveball or not. When it's thrown too often or improperly, the curveball can cause arm injuries. But current thinking is that today's Little Leaguers will try to experiment on their own with throwing breaking balls. So let's teach kids the proper way to throw curveballs. The best and safest way to master the curveball is to hold the ball along the long seam so that 4 seams hit the wind in flight. Don't hold it too far out on your fingertips, just make it a natural, comfortable grip. For Little Leaguers, the most important thing to remember is the proper spin on the ball. Try to get the ball to spin with overspin, to get overspin on the ball, so the ball spins downward like this. Let's grip the ball with your middle finger on the long seam right here. And when you throw the ball, remember to impart spin on the ball that has overspin, not side spin. So to do that, what you have to do is keep your fingers on top of the ball. So if you're going to throw it, your fingers have to, see where my fingers are on top of the ball? Your fingers have to be on top of the ball, and you spin the ball with your middle finger coming over the front of the ball. So the ball will come out with overspin. What you don't want to do is twist the ball. You don't want to go like this. That will hurt your elbow. You don't want to twist the ball. So you always got to remember with the curveball, make that ball have overspin. If the ball has overspin and the ball drops, you're throwing it correctly. If you get spin that is side to side, that means you're throwing it incorrectly. Your coaches and the person you're playing catch with can see the spin on the ball to see whether you're throwing it the right way. But if you throw the ball and it has downspin, overspin, you're throwing it the right way. Ever wonder how a curveball actually curves? As the ball spins, the stitches cause pressure on one side of the ball to be less than the opposite side, forcing the ball to move faster on one side than the other. The result? The ball curves. Without a doubt, a pitcher's most effective weapon against hitters is called the changeup. The changeup should be between 8 to 12 miles per hour slower than your fastball. But if you show hitter fastball arm speed, they will gauge their swing to hit a fastball. In order to show the arm speed necessary to fool hitters, you should think of throwing a fastball with a different grip. Your grip must do 100% of the job of slowing the ball down. Various grips can be used to throw the changeup. One variation is the 3-fingered change. 3 fingers on top of the ball and the thumb underneath the ball and the little finger along the side and underneath the ball, just like this, the 3-fingered changeup. Another variation is the circle change, so named because the index finger and thumb touch or nearly touch, creating a circle on the side of the ball. See how the index finger and the thumb are touching? You sort of do that and place it on the ball. It's also called the OK change, because this says OK.
One of the famous changeups, or the changeup of the 90s, I'd like to think is the OK changeup, which basically is held on the 2 seams with the 3rd and 4th finger, and the reason it's OK changeup is because it's almost formed as an OK kind of sign. But anything that allows you to throw a fastball and takes the grip, that allows the miles per hour to be limited, is a great change of speeds, and it allows the kid to realize he can master 2 pitches without hurting his arm.
A favorite type of changeup of mine is the split-finger changeup. The split-finger changeup has been around for a while. It became enormously popular in the late 1970s and has continued its popularity to this day because it is fairly easy to throw and is very difficult to hit. Hold the split-finger changeup with your fingers split on the seams with the 2-seam fastball grip. Here's the critical part. You must keep your wrist flexible when you throw the pitch. If you wedge the ball too far down between your fingers, you will greatly inhibit the flexibility of your wrist, which can cause serious arm damage. The split-fingered fastball or split-fingered changeup is held like this, you guys. Try it. Yes, good. If you hold the ball like this, throw the ball like you're throwing a fastball. Your thumb's underneath, your fingers are split, and when you throw this, there's no way you can throw this as hard as your fastball. So it becomes a changeup. A changeup basically is a pitch that is thrown just like a fastball, but doesn't have the velocity of the fastball. And it's a great tool to get hitters out with, because hitters will see arm speed that is like a fastball, but the grip that you have takes velocity off the ball and there disrupts the hitter's timing. And that's what you're trying to do as a pitcher, disrupt the hitter's timing. And that's what these three change-ups will do for you. The three-finger change, the circle change, and the split finger change. Find one that's comfortable for you, and you'll get easy outs, easy ground balls, easy pop-ups, and strikeouts. Here are a few pitching strategies to keep hitters off balance. First, you have to get ahead of the hitters. They know you have a limited arsenal, so keep them off balance. There are a few ways to do that. Change the speed of your pitches, but don't fall into a pattern. Otherwise, the batter will be ahead of you. And don't just vary your speed, vary the location of your pitches. Try going to the outside and pitch inside with your fastball. That's a tough pitch for hitters to handle, and you'll keep them guessing. And once you've mastered the four-seam and two-seam fastballs, use different grips so the ball doesn't break the same way every time. Finally, have a teammate keep a pitching chart as you play. Review it after each inning to see what you're throwing, and if there's a pattern. It's a great way to keep your head in the game. There are a couple of reasons why young pitchers develop sore arms. A surefire way to get a sore arm is by pitching improperly, not learning the correct fundamentals and mechanics of pitching. The human arm and shoulder were not designed to throw a baseball in an overhand throwing motion. Who's ever had a sore arm here? They don't feel very good, do they? No. So it's important to throw the ball the right way. You have to teach your body the correct way to throw a baseball. Watch this video, ask your coach, and seek other forms of proper help to learn the best way to pitch. Think about not just becoming a better pitcher, but to also avoid any kind of arm injury. Another cause of arm injuries to little leaguers is an overemphasis of learning to trying to throw breaking pitches, like the slider, slurve, and even the curveball. As we've already said, little league pitchers are going to want to throw a curveball to stay competitive. So it's better to properly teach a youngster how to throw the curveball rather than bury our heads in the sand and pretend we've never heard about the curveball. Seek expert advice on the proper and incorrect methods of throwing curves and limit yourself to a small number of curveballs in practice and in game situations. Instead, a better choice is to perfect your changeup.
If you're going to go out and throw as hard as you can, obviously you have to have a solid foundation first. A stretch, get some blood flow, get loosened up, break a sweat. Basic stretches, you can just get up over your head if you're a right-handed pitcher, grab your elbow with your left hand and just pull it down, creating a stretch here through your back and tricep and whatnot. Over your head this way stretch, you can lock it over here, obviously for a right-handed pitcher. So you're stretching the shoulder area out, hold it for 20-30 seconds, okay? And do this a couple times. So those are the two most basic stretches for a youngster, I'm talking. And as they move on, you add a few more stretches, add a few more, and create a routine that works for you.
It's real good. It makes you get a good stretch and have fun with it. Over the years, I've done it before. They've worked for me. They've helped me keep strong and flexible. And for you little leaguers, it'd be fun for you guys to go out there and do the same thing and have fun.
There are some important Little League rules designed to help pitchers avoid arm injuries. During the regular season, pitchers aren't allowed to pitch more than 6 innings during a calendar week. A calendar week is Sunday through Saturday. If a pitcher throws in 3 innings or less, he can't pitch the next day. And if a pitcher appears in 4 innings or more, he has to wait 3 days before pitching again. If you're a little leaguer, chances are there's nothing you'd rather be doing than playing baseball with your friends. And the next time you and your buddies head out to the field, keep in mind these fun and simple drills that will make you a better pitcher. As you know, a pitcher's hips and shoulders are closed when his stride foot lands. The Stay Closed drill is designed to help reinforce that position and develop a proper weight transfer. Stand sideways on the mound with your feet spread at the approximate distance of your stride. Next, rock back to your back foot and throw the ball to the catcher. You must concentrate on 2 fundamentals in this drill. First, make sure your head stays on line with your target. Second, finish the pitch by taking your head down as you conclude each delivery. And here's an added twist that is both fun and challenging. Take your baseball cap off and put it in front of you and pick it up as you finish your delivery. This exercise really enforces proper mechanics. Finish each throw keeping your head on a perfect line to your target. This will help with accuracy and arm strength. Another good throwing drill to remember is called long toss. Long toss is basically a drill to help your arm strength. Get loose, play catch from a nice distance, 30, 40 feet, and then gradually move back. Remember, the key to arm strength and improving your arm strength is to throw the ball a long way, to practice throwing long. So once you're loose and you have your partner, have him or her back up and throw the ball long. Playing catch and throwing the ball longer distance than just a short distance will increase your arm strength, and you'll find over time your arm strength will improve, and with your arm strength you'll become more accurate and you'll become a better pitcher.
Here's a tip for you little leaguers. Growing up and even now as a big leaguer, I like to play long toss. I think long tossing is probably the best thing to strengthen your arm. And all it is just throwing a ball or like a 2-seam fastball and having a friend start out at 60 feet, then work their way back to 70, 80, 90, 100, maybe 120 feet. And you just long toss for about maybe 15, 20, 25 throws. And what that does is stretches all the muscles and the ligaments and tendons out, and it builds up arm strength. Instead of just playing catch at a short distance where your muscles don't have a chance to stretch out, if you play long toss, you give it a chance for muscles to stretch out and you can build up arm strength. So that's my tip for you little leaguers.
Remember earlier in this tape, we talked about how a pitcher gets a lot of his velocity from the coiling or the torque from his body before he throws a pitch. Well, there's a drill that is designed especially for that purpose called the on-your-knee drill. Let's assume you're a right-handed pitcher. Start the drill by placing your right knee on the ground. Your left shoulder should be closed and pointing toward your target. Simply rock back, transfer your weight to the front side, and throw the ball to your target. Remember that good extension or a good finish is one of the goals of this drill. The 2-ball drill is another great drill. This drill recreates the position you need to be in when you take the ball out of your glove when you begin your throwing motion. We have 2 balls, and what we do is we bring them around and click them right in front of your chest. Now if you notice, my fingers are on top of the ball. This reinforces the proper throwing action. Remember when I talked about when you're at your balance point and you take the ball out of your glove and your hand goes down and out and up? That's what the 2-ball drill reinforces. So we're clicking the balls in front of our chest, bringing them around, and here comes your throwing arm. Now we're not taking the ball out of the glove like this, with our thumb on top and our fingers underneath. Improper. That will lead to an arm injury. Remember, when you take the ball out of your glove, your thumb and fingers have to be on top of the ball, like this, not like this. And the 2-ball drill reinforces that. Remember when we got to the balance point and our hands moved down in front of our body and then we separated our hands? This recreates it. Okay? Now if I finish my delivery, it's like I'm going to throw. Watch. 2-ball drill is a great drill. Thumbs underneath, fingers on top. Even your glove hand. We want your glove hand with your thumb down. See? If I take my glove off, look where my thumb is. Down. So you separate. Boom. And remember also, where's your elbow need to be when you throw the ball? Above your shoulder. So that also is a benefit of the two-ball drill. Here comes my elbow coming above my shoulder all the time. And by doing this, not only are you learning proper throwing mechanics, but you're also building up strength in your shoulder. This is like a good exercise for you guys to do every night. So remember, fingers on top, thumb underneath. Two-ball drill. As of 2002, only 4 players had won pitching's Triple Crown 2 years in a row. What is the Triple Crown? It's leading the league in earned run average, wins, and strikeouts. And who are the 4 famous pitchers to win 2 straight years? Roger Clemens, Sandy Koufax, Lefty Grove, and Grover Alexander. The red, white, and blue drill is a real good drill for youngsters like yourselves because you can make a game out of it and it's fun. You need a portable home plate. You can even make one out of wood or plastic, and you'll need some paint. First off, paint the inside 4 inches of the plate blue, the center part of the plate white, and the outside 4 inches of the plate red. The object of the game is to score as many points as possible by throwing the ball across the corners of the plate. The red and blue sections are worth 3 points each, and the white section is worth 1 point. You can award points by having the pitcher call the location of his pitch before throwing the ball. The purpose of the red, white, and blue game is to teach pitchers better control by having them pitch to the corners of the plate where it is most difficult for batters to make solid contact with the baseball. The fact that you're keeping score puts some pressure on each pitch and best simulates a game situation. Awarding bonus points for calling your pitch will encourage pitchers to throw to a specific part of the plate each time. Keep track of your own records, and each time you play, try to record a higher score. Then, when you're in a game, watch how many batters you get out. You'll be amazed. Just how fast is a fastball? In the major leagues, balls thrown during a game reach speeds ranging from 60 to 100 miles per hour, with the ball spinning at an average of 1,500 revolutions per minute. We've talked a lot about pitching today. Hopefully, some of the things we learned today, you guys will take into practice on the field. Little League Baseball is fun. Remember, enjoy yourselves. Baseball is a great game, and who knows, one day, one of you might play in a World Series. Thanks for letting me talk to you, and I hope you learned something today.
Okay, did you get all that? Don't worry, you will. You know, people say trying to hit a Randy Johnson fastball is like trying to drink coffee with a fork. Your fastball might not be there yet. Maybe it's more like trying to drink coffee out of a mug, which, of course, that makes it easy to drink the coffee. And besides, you shouldn't be drinking coffee. You're a kid anyway, so forget what I just said. But don't worry. I have great hopes for you, so just get out there and practice, and maybe someday we'll see you in the Hall of Fame or in the parking lot.
Every Saturday and Sunday that I knew there was a game, so Friday nights I would go to bed with my uniform on, so I would get up and have to put it on in the morning and just rush to the field the next day.
Just playing in tournaments is probably the most rewarding thing that I was able to do at that age, because it was the first time you went to areas to compete as a team.
You got to put the work in. Have fun while you do it. Every day you're on a baseball field, enjoy it.
Little League helped me a lot to learn about teamwork and sportsmanship. I mean, on the field and off the field with other kids.
The friendships that I made, the skills that I learned, and the fun that I had, most importantly, was such a big part of my life. And I just look back on it as a time in my life where I had a blast doing it, and it was the fun that I had was a big reason why I wanted to continue to play.
It was just a great deal of fun, a lot of memories from playing Little League Baseball.